Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Spiritual Astrology. Um, so I should be continuing my Venus series, but I decided not to. So I'm just taking a break from finishing that. And today I wanted to talk to you all about spirituality in astrology. I believe that people that are called to astrology are called to it the same way that someone is called to a religion. And it seems that spirituality and astrology kind of go hand in hand, which is strange because there's a lot of sciences that ask the same kind of questions that astrology asks. And I believe the only reason that astrology is separate or viewed as separate from all of these disciplines, such as psychology, which is very similar to astrology. But when people are called to astrology, it's the same calling that, people get with a vocation or a religion. A vocation and religion, which in astrology are ruled by the ninth house and the 10th house, are probably the most spiritually dynamic because they lead us towards evolution in a very straightforward way. I think, every sign of the zodiac's energy and all the 12 houses lead to human evolution. And spiritually, I mean, I could go on and on about like my beliefs when it comes to why we're here, which I believe comes to me through intuition. And astrology itself, to me, I've been brought to by my intuition since I was like 5, which is kind of strange because I don't meet many people that want to talk about stuff like that when they're like kids. But for me, my whole life, I've been probably obsessing over wanting to kind of organize and understand the world. And this to me can directly be brought back to my chart, which to like in my belief system, my astrology chart really shows how I am likely to become an astrologer, or it would be a good idea. And I was just lucky enough to kind of get pulled into it at a very young age. And it wasn't like a normal like thing because I don't like many things. Um, you know, I'm I'm not interested in the day-to-day aspects of living anymore, which kind of sucks because having an empty well, I mean, I was painting earlier, which kind of is just another form of expression of my 12th house sun and moon conjunct Jupiter. And um, the 12th house sun is very much unable to connect with normal everyday things, basically. And I believe it's even harder because people are kind of made to believe, hey, this is not realistic. You know, we have a physical body. We're supposed to kind of live day by day, doing things that get us along, which I'm capable of doing. It's just that we're supposed to do things that we don't like, we're not connected to. And yes, I understand that completely. I'm a Capricorn. But of course, being a Capricorn, I see things in a very pessimistic light, and sometimes I'm not very um, positive on myself. But anyway, a lot of this kind of influenced what I believe in life is most important. And to me, the thing that's most important is understanding each other, understanding yourself. And I believe that's because in past lives, I was someone that basically had no sense of self. I basically kind of probably was in too many relationships. And believe me, the energy around relationships in my life with my South Node there and Saturn conjunct the ruler of my seventh house, I don't think that relationships, were meant to be easy, I guess, for me. But I'm also realizing as a spiritual person that we can't, we can believe in astrology, but we can't pick up a book, put our 100% faith in it, and trust the one author that wrote that book that everything is correct, that we are meant to believe exactly what it's saying. We can't treat one astrology book like a Bible. We can sometimes use astrology in a good way, but I'm going to say something that's probably controversial and probably confusing to people that know that I believe in astrology, but I believe astrology can be horribly just not good, Like, parts of astrology are very much malicious, manipulative, controlling, because knowledge is power, and you can use that power in a positive light. You can influence people to see astrology in a good way and not in a negative way. That I think people that have their third eye activated, are spiritually enlightened, were born, indigo children, crystal children, they can see into these concepts and are able to take out the information from it. But what I'm trying to say is that this information is not necessarily good unless it's in the right hands. So there's a reason why, science that we see today is the way it is, because we cannot reach certain concepts of understanding until we are evolutionary there. We have to get through points, So the planets have to pass at the right time, the right space. Things have to happen in the right order. And then we can kind of understand things. I'm trying to say that if you do believe in something, then know that that is your higher self telling you to go towards it. If you believe that something is true and real and the most valuable information that is the realest to you, not what society says necessarily, but maybe that is real to you. Maybe something that is very much a part of society is very real to you. Maybe you see things in everyday life that are beautiful. Maybe your spiritual energy connects with this physical world very well. And in that sense, maybe you could have, and if it's in a positive way, you probably have a strong Venus. I have a weak Venus, which is kind of sad, but having a strong, powerful Venus will give you the ability to see beauty in the outer world and create beautiful things in the outer world and remain calm while doing that, which is probably the ultimate goal for Venus energy. But the physical world can also have draining energy as well. And me being a Capricorn with strong Saturn, I understand. I understand a lot of the negative stuff. I don't. I should be asking my higher self why I was put into this life with such a serious negative mindset. I've always just been kind of like way too serious, and it's ridiculous. And maybe the reason that I'm acknowledging it now, that I'm getting older, is because, it's just the path that I was meant to take. So I don't know if this video kind of has like a basic theme or not, but I'm trying to get at you as to the core of what astrology is. Like I said, I'll kind of like go through this again in point form. But basically, astrology is a spiritual gateway. People get pulled towards it if their energy aligns with that kind of higher frequency, which astrology is. It's a higher knowledge. But of course, you can use astrology like people use science. You can ask yourself what day you were born on and how that affects you on a day-to-day basis. How are you going to improve yourself in a most mundane form? Basically, what kind of foods does each zodiac sign connect with? What kind of frequency would that energy inside of you that you were born with connect with? And basically, we are all our own unique energy. And the people that have the ability to see that are more likely to or should be looking into astrology. I believe that we really, as humans, should be taking our careers, our vocations, what our higher calling in life seriously. And it's what a lot of us don't want to do, and understandably, because of the major fear there. So Saturn kind of pinpoints that fear, which is really important. It's like a key. Saturn is like the biggest key in astrology when it comes to life, because once you understand your fears, your ambitions, your limits, you can live within your boundaries and never have to go out of them. And going out of your boundaries basically is what Saturn is warning us not to do. And when this happens, basically the planets that are outside of our view, which is past Saturn, are the planets that are too high of a frequency for us to dabble in. And when we dabble with Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto energy, we're pushing ourselves beyond our limits. So we need to kind of humble ourselves before we're able to do that, which is a really important thing, which is what Saturn is teaching us. Hey, kid, you're not ready to get in the zone of this kind of higher calling, higher energy that Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto happen to be telling you. So anyway, like, I'm just rambling, which, I'm learning to accept. I have a Gemini moon, but people have to kind of take it more seriously, that every sign of the zodiac has a very important meaning. And if you can understand all the deep concepts of the esoteric meaning behind all 12 of the signs and all of the planets, then if what you're looking for is having the deepest knowledge in this lifetime, then you're well on your way, because astrology is like a wellspring of knowledge. But at the same time, you can't be too detached, which being detached helps when you study astrology, because astrology is ruled by Saturn, okay? I believe that 100%, because I've seen it time and time again of how Saturn is just rules over time, it rules over space, and time and space define individuality. So Saturn is the full spectrum of the rainbow. It's where the rainbow is the end, and just beyond the rainbow is even more magical rainbows, which is ruled by Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, which I believe are the Holy Trinity. And um, like, I really need to kind of organize my thoughts when it comes to all these kind of concepts, because I know that I get insights into what each planet means. And I used to think for a long time that every astrologer was like that. That, oh, you were born with that magical insight too. But I'm starting to realize people are learning astrology, but in basic ways. If you're a spiritual person, um, just connect with yourself, and then you'll start to kind of know things. You'll see something on TV, and if you resonate with it, you resonate with it. You agree with it. If you don't agree with it, you don't, and that's it. And if you can follow that inner voice, then you are probably an old soul, and you are part of the club. Like, you're one of us. You're one of the other people that, the weirdos. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope I didn't bore anyone or make anyone go crazy because of how scattered my thoughts are. I'm at an interesting point in my life where I really want to do something important. Saturn is creeping up on me, and it's not bad. I like for a Capricorn, Saturn energy is probably exactly what we need to kind of understand where we are. So I wonder like why the three last signs of the zodiac, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, are strange. Because we are. Because we're most likely more like we're older souls most of the time. You know, the other signs of the zodiac. But when you're an older soul, you're going to be weird. When you're just beginning to realize you're an older soul, you're going to feel like you don't belong. When you're an even older soul, you're going to accept the fact that you are weird and that's okay. And when you're an oldest soul, you just completely accept everything. And this is symbolized in the last three signs of the zodiac, which I believe I'm going to make probably a major focus of my life because I feel like people don't understand these very complex signs. I mean, Aries are complex in their subconscious because their subconscious is ruled by Pisces. But the last three signs of the zodiac are just kind of multi-layered, and people kind of need to get more into grasps of these energies. And to do that, you need to always compare different kind of energies. So if you are connected to being sensitive towards energies, define them, understand them. I mean, maybe other people can't do this, but I have Gemini moon, so I think that is part of the ability to do that. And if you look at your own chart, you can kind of see what kind of energies you can tap into and what you're able to do. Anyway, this is a really long video. Okay, bye.